Good morning, my beautiful imperfectionist family. What's good? It's your girl Tammy, aka That's a Woman, coming to you with this week's session of planting and or watering, where yours truly is either planting something new in your life or I'm watering, adding value to something that you have heard along the way. And before I jump into this week's session, which is a tough one, but we're going to have the conversation. I just want to acknowledge our veterans. This is being recorded around Veterans Day, so therefore I wanted to represent in the fatigue to let you veterans know, past, present, or future, I salute each and every one of you, and I thank you for your service. I thank you for the sacrifices that you have made for us. So with much gratitude in my heart, I show you mad love and appreciation. And as I jump into this session, I'm going to start with this disclaimer. This session may be even harder than the sessions leading up to November 5th, 2024. However, I know the importance of having this discussion, especially in the work that I'm doing. So I am going to start with a question that you all know I like to ask frequently. How are you feeling? How are you processing what has happened in our election last week and the effects that you know it could potentially have on our country? And I know that's a tough question, but I do want to ask, how are you? Because in the midst of what is going on and what has happened, your mental health is more important now more than ever. Because what I am hearing is a lot of people are given to what I didn't want people to give into. They're given into fear. They're given into anxiety. They're given into depression. So therefore, I want you to check in with yourself, because I want you to know that regardless of what has transpired, you're going to be okay. God's got you. Give yourself permission to feel, but don't stay in the sunken place. Do not, because in order for you to get through whatever journey is in front of us, good, bad, or indifference, we have to have the right mindset. And remember, I mentioned Romans 12:1, do not be conformed to this world. Well, I know right now this world is giving us a lot of things to conform to. However, it's important for us not to conform to them. It's important for us to focus on the things of God and know that God is up to something. God is up to something. This is a time when we know it doesn't make sense, and I am going to have a conversation on live tomorrow night or on Wednesday, whenever you hear this message. Let's try to make sense out of this, which, here's the thing, we might not make sense out of it. However, one thing I will make sense out of, we don't understand God when he doesn't make sense, but I will make sense of the fact that I have faith to know that God is up to something. Remember in the Bible, when the Pharaoh rose after helping Joseph, and that Pharaoh didn't know God, and he caused a lot of affliction on the children of Israel and God's children. And what happened? God heard the cries of his people, and he sent Moses to tell Pharaoh to let my people go. And here's the thing, at times in life, pharaohs will rise in different capacities, and sometimes in the presidential role, pharaohs will rise. However, one thing we cannot not do, we cannot continue to pray. We cannot continue to trust. We cannot allow our faith to be weakened by what we're seeing. Remember, faith and sight are two different things. And if you operate by sight, you take the power from your faith. And your faith is something that is constantly at work in each and every one of our lives. So in order for us to get to the fullness and to get to the other side of this in our right state of mind, we gotta have faith. We gotta have trust. We gotta have knowing. God, we don't understand, because I will be the first to say I don't understand. And I tell you, when I love hearing real preachers talk. And I heard a pastor, excuse me the way I say it, but I'm repeating what he said. God, what the hell is going on? This is a what the hell is going on moment. Yes, I said it. But this is how we can feel right now. What is really going on? We gotta have faith. We gotta trust, but that don't mean we don't wonder, what are you up to? And this is when we have to really trust at a time like this that God is behind the scenes orchestrating things. When you're hearing the chatter, the defunding of education, when you're hearing ignorance being conveyed in the form of text messages where African American students are receiving text messages to gather their belongings and report to the nearest plantation. You can't tell me that this is the kind of world that makes sense. This doesn't. We've come so far to be set so far back that even whoever thought it okay to put that out there, thought that that was a good idea. And it goes back to thug life, the hate you gave little infants, everybody. You guys are still spreading hate, and that is a straight form of it right there. For you to think to send a text message to that nature, these are the things that we have to be aware of. And we have to okay, God, we have to be ready for battle. And when I say battle, I'm talking a spiritual battle. This is when we have to do as Ephesians said, when the enemies and the principalities and the darkness of this world show themselves and rise up, we have to put on the whole armor of God. And that whole armor of God is the sword of the Spirit, which is our word, the word of God, and our faith. Our faith that knowing, God, you delivered the children of Israel when that Pharaoh rose that didn't know you, and you will deliver us. You will deliver us. God, you're able to specialize in the impossible. And right now we are in an impossible time. I will not attempt by any means necessary to make light of what we're dealing with right now. However, what I will do is encourage, as King David did when he returned from battle and was told and saw the village had been destroyed and their wives and children had been taken, and the people spake of stoning David. Mind you, he had just won a victory. He won a battle, but he come home to another battle getting ready to ensue. And so David had to take a moment to himself, which is something I'm always telling you for your mental health. Make sure you're taking that time to yourself. Make sure you're disconnecting. Make sure you're pulling away. I know the media is trying to flood you, social media, the news, every avenue it can to bombard you with fear, to let that fear energy raise. No, let it stay to a minimum. And just as David went and took that time to himself and encouraged himself in the Lord, he asked God a question. He said, shall I pursue them? Actually, he asked him two questions. Shall I pursue, and will I overtake them? And this is the time we got to know we can overtake whatever is coming our way, because with God being for us, he is more than the world against us. And right now, a lot of people are feeling the world is against them. I even saw where a church offered like a virtual form of hope to the members to have the conversations, which I'm going to do a similar thing Wednesday at 7:30 to give people the opportunity. Let's talk about how you're feeling. And, some of the comments that I saw, oh, I'm a single parent and I have children and this and that. I'm already struggling to make it and this, that, and the other. And I know that's what the enemy wants you to give into. The enemy wants you to focus on all the negativity. And right now, I'll be honest, it's hard to see the good. It is hard. It is hard. But let me tell you, you got to fight the good fight of faith. When you continue to fight the good fight of faith, there is good in everything. You will see the good. You will be like the songwriter that said, I would have fainted lest I believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. I would have fainted lest I believed. And right now, we are not going to faint. We're not going to retreat. We're not going to surrender. It is what it is. This is what has happened. And what do they say? When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. It's time to make some lemonade. It's time to say, okay, God, I really have no other choice. You know what? Just be brutally honest, because sometimes you don't trust God till your back is against the wall. So right now, go ahead and take that. Back's against the wall. When you do that with a cat, what does it do? It come out fighting. So this is a time that you're going to fight. But listen, you're going to fight intelligently. You're going to intelligently fight, because guess what? The battle is not yours. This is what I hear the Spirit of the Lord saying. The battle is not yours. Stand still and see my salvation. You will see my salvation if you continue to believe, to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. And not only that, the other songwriter said, I was young and now I'm old, and never ever have I seen the righteous forsaken and his seed begging bread. Beloved, we are the righteousness in God. God is in each and every one of us, and God loves us. And listen, this too, James said in his verses, in his book in the Bible, think it not strange when these things come upon you as though some strange thing has happened, when these fiery trials show up. Listen, this is all a reminder of when God delivered our people before and others, when he made ways in the past. This is a reminder he will do it again. Remember, there is nothing new under the sun. We as a people, and I'm including all in this, we as a people have been here before. However, it's up to us to rise higher, rise to the occasion, rise in your attitude of faith. Remember, I tell you all the time, law of attraction is listening, and it wants to know, how are you going to respond? Are you going to continue to respond with negative thoughts? Are you going to allow the forces of fear and darkness to kick in? No, we're not going to do this. We're going to walk with our heads held high, proudly and boldly in the confidence of God. In the confidence of knowing he that has started a good work in each and every one of us is going to complete it. And it's also going to be a reminder for each and every one of us, man is not your source. God is the source of it all. Remember, Philippians 4:19 says, my God shall supply all of your needs according to his riches and glory. This is time for us to operate in the knowing that God is going to supply our needs. God is going to supply our needs. And then when you even go back a couple verses, it said we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So where you have your faith in Jesus to let you know you're going to get through this. Okay? I know it seems hard. I know it seems unbelievable. I know there's some numbness that has set in, because Lord knows I have felt some of those emotions too. However, I stood saying it before, no matter who wins, we're going to be okay. And you know what? We're on the other side of it, getting ready to really live it. And we're still going to be okay. Nothing has changed there, because this is when the scripture says, lean not to our own understanding. Our own understanding. Those things that we don't understand. Those times when we like, God, you're not even making sense right now. God, how can this be? Lean not to our own understanding. In all of our ways, let us acknowledge God. Let us trust God. Let us believe God. Let us walk and operate in the knowing that everything is going to work out for us in our good. That faith can create such a powerful force, a powerful force that it has no other choice but to make it a reality. And that's what we want, the reality of what God can and will do in our life. So don't lose faith. Don't allow your mental health to suffer. Tend to your mental health. Do your self-care. Walk, breathe, get out in nature, do a staycation, go get a massage, whatever it takes to distract you, because they're going to try to feed you every form of negativity they can. Listen, I say it all the time, this matrix that we in, they're going to try to keep you distracted with negativity, but it's up to you to know that God is for you. And again, he's more than the whole world against you. And as a matter of fact, this morning, I specifically put on 2 rings on my finger. One is faith and one is hope, to let us know we're going to keep hope alive and we're going to keep faith, knowing that it is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things that are not seen. So, beloved, as always, I thank you. I appreciate you with much love and gratitude for tuning in, listening to the message. And I ask if there's anything that I said to encourage you, or even resonate with you. You might not even agree because you're like, girl, I am not feeling this right now, but I do want you to be encouraged. So give your girl a thumbs up and drop me a comment. And if you're not a part of my imperfectionist family, I invite you to click the subscribe button. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, please share it with others, because again, this is iron sharpening iron, and we're going to need all the iron sharpening and all the strength we can get as we go through these times. Okay, so until the next time, I want you imperfectly perfect people to continue to be blessed. Tend to yourself, detach, to really connect with God. Remember, Jesus did that from time to time. He even did 40 days of it. It's okay. Spend that time, invest in you, because guess what? You are worth it. All right? Be blessed.